Next to go are Baldev Chaga and Raju Semi. When the oil pressure dropped, it was only a matter of time before the conrod bearings gave way and the engine ground to a halt. They became spectators waiting to see their old N12 go past, now in the hands of Onka Rai and Supi Soin, but instead were treated to watching it roll right in front of them.
In the notes it had a medium caution, but now that I've looked at it, it was a slow, double caution slow. So obviously that's going way too fast. So
Asad Khan and Elodie Sampere have been exploring their potential in the car all year, slowly adjusting as they became more and more confident and were once again on the attack. But watch as a bad note puts them out.
A bit of a correction, mistake on the notes. It's a very bad dip and we hit it flat out.
Up at the front, the leaderboard had all changed. Lee Rose and Piers Dakin, who had been lying sixth, were now in the lead, having been fastest through stages 2 and 3. But with a margin of only 1 second, they were by no means clear.
Oh, fantastic, fantastic. The long stage was quite tricky, you know. I mean, 31 minutes in the car, and it's quite rough towards the end, so it was difficult to know how hard to go.
Alistair Kavanagh and Gavin Lawrence also moved up the rankings and were now in second. And with a gap between them and Rose so close, they were unlikely not to take up the challenge on the closing 2 stages.
No, I mean, it's the first time I've really pushed it in a while. You know, we're driving nearer 90% than we have been all season. So, not checking your notes, you know, things come up on you a little bit too quickly sometimes. But we've been quite lucky. We haven't hit anything too hard or.
Carl Tundo and Tim Jessup were still finding their rhythm, and whilst everyone around them were dropping out or overtaking them, they kept to a steady pace and maintained station in third.
Yeah, I just can't get any rhythm to gauge the jumps. And actually, it's a lot to be said to checking the notes. We only went round once, so...
You're still going to try?
Yeah.
You'll break it?
Maybe. It's the last rally. Doesn't matter. We'll repair it for next year.
Azhar Anwar and Julius Kige continued to have a good clean run, enjoying not having to drive defensively, with the car performing well.
100, cut to the left.
Their consistency was paying off and were now in fourth.
I'm actually enjoying the driving much more today.
It must be much better in the...
Oh yeah, you know, it was so tiring before and you were like on edge all the time. Today I'm relaxed and I'm playing with the car. It's nice.
Alex Horsey and Frank Guitar were still putting the stage miles behind them, but Alex was making mistakes, still feeling poorly. They were now trailing the leaders by over 5 minutes, but it was still quick enough for fifth. Jas Mangat and Gihan De Silva were driving to recover the time lost in wrong slots, but their attack was once again hampered when they lost 5th gear, and for now were forced to accept 6th.
So Jas, your rallying in Kenya recently hasn't been so lucky.
Yeah, it's never been lucky. I think we've done 7 or 8 events. We've never really had a clean run, and the trend continues. We put in a different gearbox for this event, and we lost 5th gear. So.
With 2 stages remaining, Lee Rose and Alistair Kavanagh were separated by 1 second, with Carl Tundo only 31 seconds behind in third. With the times behind beginning to spread, the race for victory was now between the top 3. The growth of rallying in Kenya in recent years can firmly be attributed to KCB, whose name is now synonymous with rallying across the African continent.
From 2003, when KCB got involved in motor rallying up to this moment, we think that we've done a great deal to raise the profile of the sport. We're very proud with what we've been able to achieve, and at this moment across East Africa, motorsport and KCB are now known to be synonymous, and we're very, very proud of that achievement.
National Oil have also contributed to the development of the sport, which in turn has raised the profile and status of the National Oil brand, which continues to expand across the country.
Being involved in an exciting event as the Safari Rally has just given a lot of impetus to that rebranding, that really we are re-energized and with a renewed focus.
Providing the invaluable communication network at each event have been iWay Africa, whose instant access to the world has been a huge asset to the sport.
Of course, one of our flagship solutions is a VSAT. You can get VSAT anywhere, and that's how we are able to support this rally, so we can deliver VSAT services in any part of this country.
Through the iWay satellite link combined with CarTrack's tracking system, the safety of competitors has been assured, together with providing organizers more control on each event.
This again has increased for us tenfold inside the market, because we are able to transfer this technology to the greater public in terms of when they're in need or when they're in distress. They can also press a panic button, and we can be able to respond to them using the 911 service. Yes.
Every bit as important has been the abundant supply of Highlands mineral drinking water, which is so important in such a demanding sport.
Highlands is the rehydrant choice for all the rally drivers and the participants.
Adding to the safety on each event has been the Aircraft Leasing Services helicopter, which has been on standby at each rally. The KCB Guru Nanak Rally was also the final round of the 2010 Two-Wheel Drive Championship, which had come down to the wire between Leonardo Veresi and Munir Khan. The pair had broken away from the rest of the pack during the season, but after a string of victories, Leonardo Veresi had edged out a lead. Munir Khan's only hope was to win the Guru, which would put the tie-break rule to the test. First away were Leonardo Veresi and Kigondo Karedi, but it would be their shortest rally of the season when an engine mounting broke, forcing them into retirement on stage 1. This gave Munir Khan and Sam Jethwa just the opportunity they needed, but they would first have to deal with the remaining 15 two-wheel drives in the event. Most fell by the wayside, but with only 2 stages and 75 kilometers of competitive motoring, for the regulars it was a race from the start. This is Joel Mushiri and Riyaz Ismail, who eventually came fourth. The early leaders were Deep Chana and Rohit Budia, who were fastest through stage 1 by a full minute, but they retired, handing the lead to Munir Khan, who then had to fend off the hard-charging Daihatsu Special, driven by Adnan Suhail and Absalom Aswani. Gurmit Tethi and Depinder Kalsi, in one of the 5 golfs in the event, put in a strong performance, and after a clean run, took 3rd in the category to record their 2nd finish of the season.
We've been sitting in dust today. The first section we were behind Kirimi for like 4Ks, and then the second section we were behind and for like another 3-4 Ks as well. So that slowed us down. I think otherwise maybe a second would have been possible.